Hello everyone, it's Nanny Moo Moo and Papa Dunk, and today we're at the National Trust property, Mottisfont. It's a property very rich in history. Was a monastery, and then the house itself was the monastery, and then it moved into different types of residencies. Nestled in Hampshire, near the River Test. And you can see in the background there the house itself. But we're particularly interested in the gardens, particularly the rose collection. So we're going to take a little walk to find where that rose collection is and have an explore. As you can see, it's a lovely morning in August. We've got here quite early, and there is the house in front of us looking absolutely glorious in the morning sun. There's nothing like the sound of running water. And this little part of the path is particularly green and cool and fresh. We have a map, which is very unusual for Nanny Moo Moo and Papa Dunk. We usually wander around properties without maps. But we're heading towards the Rose Gardens, which has a wonderful collection of roses from the 19th century, I think. I don't really know. We'll find out when we get there. So we've come to a crossroads. Which way do you think, Papa Dunk? Right or left?
Let's try left.
We're going to go left. We've just come across this little section off the track. And some options for why I was late for work. And why I was late for school. I don't know if any of you have used those excuses. I quite like the late for school. Out of nowhere, a hungry polar bear came of an alley and chased me down the street for my sandwiches. Lots of different paths to explore. And clearly this is a great family area. This little part certainly looks like it's a child-friendly section to explore. Little notice boards asking questions such as, would you rather help a fairy make magic, gnomes dig for treasure, a witch make a stew, an imp be naughty, or Santa Claus deliver presents? Wonder what responses children would give. It's very much like a botanical garden. Landmark 3, I'm not quite sure what Landmark 3 is. Papa Dunk has gone off elsewhere on a different track with the map, so I can't tell you what that landmark is at the moment. Maybe when we come to a stopping point, we'll have a look at the map and see what that says. As you can see, there are quite a few picnic benches dotted about the place, ideal for a family picnic, or if you're picking up any food from the wonderful National Trust cafes and eateries to eat outside. Papa and Dunk and I particularly like the Cornish pasties. I don't know if you can see this or it will pick up, but the water here is so clear. This ancient spring gives Mottisfont its name. It is the font around which the local community held their moots or meetings more than 1,000 years ago. Such a regular supply of fresh water made this an ideal place to site a medieval priory. Closer view of the house. We're still on our quest to find the walled gardens. Can't be that difficult. And the roses. We're just outside the stable block. Stable blocks are now used to house an eatery, but the designs here quite incredible. Magnificent tree. And again, more picnic benches for families to enjoy al fresco eating. As well as just wandering yourself at Mottisfont, you can join one of the guided walks. And here is the meeting place. But Papa Dunk and I are just going to have a walk ourselves. But I can imagine the guided walks would be really informative. We're coming into what we expect is the walled garden and are greeted with some of the roses. So we've come in to the walled garden section, and in particular where they've been growing dahlias, which Papa Dunk and I have been growing dahlias as well. And I have to say, as splendid as these dahlias are, I'm really pleased with how our dahlias have turned out, some of which we have grown by seed, some of which we have grown by plugs, and some which we bought. And in actual fact, the plugs are working out really, really well. So while this is walled, we're actually in the kitchen garden. And if you can't tell what you're in the kitchen garden, just take a look at these onions. Globe onions. That would take you a few weeks to get through, I'm sure. So cucumber. Papa Dunk's cucumbers this year have been particularly plentiful. Not that we're comparing at all, of course. think some deadheading of the roses is required. In this patch at least. What a wonderful job it would be to be a gardener here. And certainly if you're thinking of a visit, we would recommend that you come early as possible. The gardens open at 10 a.m. to really be able to take your time to wander the gardens. Some sweet peas. And we're moving on to some more spectacular looking dahlias. That's why I love dahlias. They come in so many varieties, shapes, colours. Vibrant reds. Grapevines. I would imagine that it's a little bit easier to grow grapes down here in the South Downs, Hampshire, West Sussex. I think we may be getting closer to the roses. And on cue, a sign here that says the old English Rose Collection at Mottisfont, the National Collection. Oh my goodness. What a glorious, glorious, glorious garden. Which way to go first? Oh, I'm at a loss, so let's go left. And my guess is somewhere there will be the roses. Some of the roses, of course, will be in bloom. This is the Reine Victoria, a bourbon rose dating back to 1872. All along here are roses which have been planted, and I can see the other side. I'm just so excited, I don't know which way to turn. Climbing roses, shrub roses. And apart from some background chatter of people admiring the various greenery, bushes, flowers, it's really, really peaceful. So many of these roses are single flowering roses. So it'd be very interesting to come back in the springtime to see how they have flowered. But there's still quite beautiful flowers here to admire. This one here is particularly fragrant, as it is a characteristic of the Old English roses. None of those non-smelling roses that cost a fortune on Valentine's Day. And they're magnificent climbing rose. There's so much more to explore here. And so that Papa Dunk and I can really enjoy it, I think it's time to say, from the Mottisfont garden, and there's a lot of garden, it's bye for now. It's bye for now.